Have you ever wondered how RV dealers come up with their pricing? Well, today I looked deeply into RV pricing and what causes RV pricing, and we're going to talk to an industry expert from J.D. Power, kind of one of the well-known authorities on RV pricing. Now, there's a lot of different variables that go into RV pricing, make, model, floor plan. When you get into the Prevos and the Newells, the $2 million coaches, there's really no resources for what average value are. But when you get into the more production motorhomes like the Newmar products, the Integra product, the Tiffin product, you are going to find a resource called J.D. Power, and it was formerly NADRV. And in a moment, we're going to talk to an industry expert about that whole acquisition, and he's going to really share a lot of details about RV values. And we're always trying to find as much good, valuable information for you, and it takes a lot to make these YouTube videos. So we greatly appreciate all of our sponsors like Brooklyn Bedding, RVmattress.com for sponsoring today's video. If you need a new mattress for your RV, whether you have a bunk coach or an RV queen, they have all different sizes of high quality mattresses. They've got a limited lifetime warranty, 120 night sleep trial, and free shipping within the US. I've had my Firm Aurora mattress for several years now and get some of the best sleep on it. And that's the other cool thing about Brooklyn Bedding and getting your mattress from RVmattress.com is they have different firmnesses. So whether you're a soft sleeper or a firm sleeper, they've got the right mattress for you. And I'm excited to announce that we can get you a 30% off discount using the coupon code AndrewSteele. We'll leave a link to that in the description below. So definitely worth stepping up your mattress in your RV or in your home. We greatly appreciate Brooklyn Bedding, RVmattress.com for sponsoring the channel and making these videos possible. Now, some of you may have remembered a recent video I did where I was calling out J.D. Power for having some misinformation. I saw a discrepancy whether there was a 450 horsepower or a 500 horsepower American Tradition, I believe. The information we were getting on the VIN sheet was not congruent with the information we were getting on J.D. Power, and that would significantly affect the value whether you have a 450 horsepower engine or a 500. So they did respond and get that straightened out. And here's a quick message from Chris at J.D. Power.
Hi, Andrew. Thanks for the opportunity to respond. Your video certainly set off some alarm bells here at J.D. Power. Immediately after we became aware of it, we went back into our archives to see what Fleetwood had sent us back in 2015. Turns out they had sent us model information for the 500 horsepower models, but did not include the specs for the 450s. We reached out to American Tradition and asked them if they could access their 2015 data sheets. Somewhat amazingly, they sent us one that had been revised after the original was sent out that does include the 450 horsepower models. That updated information was quickly included in our model listings database that went live on July 1st, and users have been able to view those models since then. As you know, it's typical for an RV manufacturer to use chassis that could be a year old. The 42G in your video had a chassis VIN of 2014, but a body VIN of 2015. That's one explanation for why Fleetwood didn't initially include the 450 horsepower models in their datasheet. We also saw you using the consumer version of our values. That's fine if you're an individual looking to buy an RV, but for industry users like dealers or finance officers, our subscriber products like Connect or Web Services are a better bet, since they provide the wholesale and trade-in value as well as the ability to add custom equipment not specifically mentioned in our options. And you can also create a window sticker with those products. Anyway, Andrew, please reach out to us directly if you ever run across anything like this again in the future. See you around.
So when I got Chris's response, I really wanted to take some more time to learn more about RV pricing. So let's jump on the phone with Chris, and he's going to explain a lot and answer a lot of questions I have. So Chris, what is your position with J.D. Power?
I'm the director of specialty vehicles, which basically means I manage all of the non-automotive vehicle sectors, power sports, RVs, marine, manufactured housing, and commercial trucks for the most part. So yeah, I've taken an interest in the videos you've put out in the RV sector.
Yes, sir. And J.D. Power as a company, what is their goal, or what do they provide, or what is J.D. Power in a nutshell?
Yeah, I'll try to give you the briefest history possible. Basically, the company itself was founded in 1968, and originally it was organized to conduct customer surveys in the automotive space, resulting in consumer insights and some advisory services over time. What people probably most recognize, if they're not familiar with the company, are the J.D. Power Awards. Those are out in the automotive industry, although we've branched out into healthcare, finance, insurance, travel, etc. And they usually cover things like customer satisfaction, initial quality, resale value, things like that. You know, in the 70s is when that really took off. But for purposes more related to what we're talking about today, NADA Guides, also known as National Appraisal Guides, was founded in 1972. They're the company that puts out the specialty vehicles I mentioned. And in 2018, JD Power purchased that company. So NADA Guides is now JD Power Specialty Vehicles. And really nothing changed on the back end as far as we do values. Basically, the entire office staff was moved to a different office under the JD Power umbrella. And all of our processes and data we collect were unchanged as a result of that purchase. Kind of a related note, JD Power also purchased the National Auto Dealers Association Used Car Guide back in 2015. We also have Auto Data, Auto Vista, PIN, ALG, Automotive Lease Guides. So if any of your viewers also play in the car and light truck space, we've made quite a few acquisitions over the past 10 years. Especially NADA Guides.
So you're responsible for getting the values of, boats, motorhomes, all of that good stuff. What goes into your process of evaluating what the value of a pre-owned motorhome is?
Yeah, so basically two sides to it, data collection and then data analytics. On the data collection side, we get data monthly from Manheim. We also pull a lot of asking price information from various sources. And we have an advisory board of over 100 dealers who submit their sales results to us, along with feedback based on questions that we ask for each update. So we compile all that information, which, as you might imagine, is a pretty large undertaking because it requires a lot of cleaning, standardization, and adding some data that lets it be linked to our valuations so we can compare selling and asking price to our current valuations for analytical purposes. From that point, we can put it into a number of different ways we have to visualize that data, basically all sorts of visualization tools, including Tableau or spreadsheets and things like that that we can use to model that data. We compare it against general economic factors. We discuss it among ourselves prior to each update, arrive at a consensus for each segment of the RV industry that we value should do up or down changes.
Okay, so you're basically taking, Manheim values, what people are asking on, different websites, and kind of putting it all together, but at Manheim you're able to see what like models are actually selling for?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we look at each source individually. Obviously, auction results we're going to look at differently from asking price data. And then our advisory board provides some retail selling price data as well. So of course, all three of those need to be considered individually. And then as far as, makes and models within each data source, we can compare specs, valuations, and of course condition as well.
What's the current state of the market? Right now we've seen a kind of a wild market, supply and demand, but what are you able to comment on, what the current, state of the market is? We've seen some of the values drop pretty significantly recently. Is that what you guys are seeing as well?
Well, going into the January-August update, which is the current values that are out there, different factors affecting different segments, of course. On the higher end, the Class A's, the more expensive RVs, the stock market more or less dictates how successful pricing is going to be in that segment. The lower priced units and travel trailers and camping trailers, things like that, then you get into all the economic factors related to consumer confidence. And interest rates and things like that. So that said, within our current edition, we had values increase very mildly, roughly 2 to 3% if you want to look at it just in general terms. So incoming data might suggest other trends. I would need to loop in our market data experts to talk a little bit more about that in depth.
Okay. I can imagine a lot of variables, and everything's, depreciating, usually depreciating. It's been a wild ride over the last few years, but we actually deal a lot in the really high-end motor coaches, the Prevost converters, Newell coach, the custom $3 million brand new coaches. And JD Power doesn't really have values for any of those super high-line models. Is there a reason that you don't have values for those?
Well, if it's a one-off, a lot of times they're like prototypes, things like that. So if it's just a one-off, there's almost no way for us to gather any market data on something like that. So that makes it very difficult to justify evaluation.
That makes sense. I think Newell builds around 28 coaches a year, but all of them are custom built. You know, there's no two alike. So that would make sense. I've always wondered that. Anything else that you think? I appreciate you sharing all of that information. I think that helps us get a better understanding of, you know, what JD Power does and how you operate. Is there anything else that you think would be good? And also, too, I want to thank you for correcting the misinformation. You guys reached out to me when, you know, when I made a video being critical of some of the information I found online. I appreciate you guys getting that straightened out, and that's fully corrected. Is there, are you able to talk at all, you know, what could have happened there and how that could have slipped through the cracks?
Yeah, on that one specifically, it's not uncommon for RV manufacturer to not necessarily include every single model that they may have produced at a given time. So in this case, in 2015, Fleetwood gave us data sheets for the 500 horsepower 42G, but not the 450 horsepower model. Because there's some gray area in model years between chassis and body production and VINs. They don't always even know themselves, you know, what model year a given spec is going to be. So there are frequently revisions to the data sheets that they send us, which we use to create our new listings. And they don't always send us the revisions. We usually just get the initial data sheets. And as you can imagine, that's a very involved process and very time consuming too, to collect all that information from every manufacturer that's out there. Some manufacturers we have a good relationship with and we automatically get their data, but a lot of times we need to reach out to them and initiate the process every year when we add their new models. So for that reason, we don't always get every update of every data sheet that the manufacturers have, and that was the case for the 2015 42G. It's pretty impressive that American Tradition actually had the revision of their data sheet for that 2015. Somebody had a 10-year-old file that they were able to send us, and that's what we used to so that's what we used to make the update. So the updated one is out there as of January 1st for the RV that was in your video.
Yeah, that's great. I appreciate that. And is there any way, if someone out there finds some information that they think there may have been a mistake or something, is there a way, or what's the best way for folks to reach out to JD Power and make you aware of that?
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. The best way to do it is just to go to jdpower.com and reach out to our customer service chat or email. They are very good about sending that directly to the right people, and we'll get back in touch with whoever reaches out to us.
Okay, great. Well, Chris, I really appreciate you taking the time today. I think we learned a lot, and appreciate everything you guys do over there.
Hey, thanks a lot, Andrew. I appreciate that, and I appreciate the time today.
Yeah, my pleasure. A huge thanks to Chris for taking the time to share that with us. We greatly appreciate him, and a huge thanks to BrooklynBeddingRVmattress.com for sponsoring the video. We greatly appreciate all of you and hope you're all having a great day. Thanks again.